All right, we are ready to go here. I am excited to teach this particular workshop because, if we're all honest, there's topics we love teaching, and this is one of them for me. Because so many people think they've got to build a huge community, they've got to build a huge list to be able to get sales in, to get to a 6, 7, 8-figure business. And I know people who are doing $1 million plus in revenue a year who actually do it different than you would think. So what I'm going to go over with you in the workshop tonight is how you can consistently close new clients, get new business without a big list. In fact, none of the tactics I'm going to teach you tonight and the overall strategy involve building a list. So if that's something that's been stressing you out, let go of that right now. Let me get my slides up. And I do have several resources, worksheets, templates to share with you, and some really cool links that you will love. And I'll put them in chat as we go through the presentation tonight. Now, really quick, I just want to make sure that my audio is working. So I'm going to flip over to YouTube. Yeah, we are good. All right. And you are welcome to post comments in chat if you have questions as we go along. Let's see, too many tabs open. Let me get my slides up here. Okay. There we go. Okay. Well, let's do, oh, now I've got the right button. Okay, so you guys can see me and the slides here. So this is how to get new clients consistently without a big list. And if you don't have a pen and paper yet, pause me and go grab a notebook or a piece of paper and a pen. Open up a document on your computer so that you can take notes. You are going to want to write things down as I go through this, because I promise you, if you follow along at the end of this workshop, and it should be about an hour, maybe a little bit less, you will have a solid daily strategy, weekly strategy for attracting new clients, and you will understand how to make it work. So I'm going to give you 10 specific tactics, but remember that this isn't really about new tactics. I bet if I ask you, you could probably teach parts of this workshop because you already know a lot of the tactics for getting new clients. It's really about taking consistent action on a solid strategic plan. Give me one second. I'm going to turn off the alerts on my phone. Okay. Otherwise, it's just going to keep buzzing. So it's about creating that solid strategic plan so that when you get up in the morning, you know, here's exactly what I get to do today to bring new clients to me. All right, so strategy first, tactics second. So let's see. Oops, my slides are out of order. All right, I'm human. Here we go. First question for you is, what's your dream work and what are your superpowers? I want you to take a minute and write some things down around that. What is it that you really, really would love to get paid for doing? I've got a friend who tells me all the time, if you're good at something, you should never do it for free. Well, in this case, that's true. What is it that you really want to get paid for? What are those things that you know are a superpower for you that are super valuable for your clients because it creates a transformation, it creates a result, it delivers crazy value? Take some time to write about that just for a minute. What are those things? Right? And I'm going to put a couple of links in chat here. I'm going to give you guys access to these slides in case you want to download them. Now, for anybody watching who's not familiar, you go to File right here, and then you click Download PDF. That's going to give you a PDF of my slides. So I'm going to give you guys access to that while you're writing that down. What is your dream work? And what are your superpowers? All right, there you go. Let me just make sure my comments are going over to YouTube. Yes, we are good. All right. So think about that. What's your dream work? What's your superpowers? Because everything really, really does start there. If you see me looking around a bit, it's because I've got my notes right here in front of me. All right. My screen just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to talk about strategy first, because for most of us, to hit our ideal income for a month, it's not actually as many clients as you might think. Okay, so let's do the math. What's your goal for a month? I'm gonna go with 5K in this example just because that's an easy round number. A lot of people would be thrilled with 5K a month. If it's 10 for you, awesome. Change these numbers to fit that. So write this down. Whatever your monthly goal is, well, you get one new client a month at that price. What if you could, or how can you deliver something that's valuable enough that somebody would pay you that amount to work with you for a month? One client at 5K, or 5 clients at $1,000. What could you deliver that would be worth that price point? 10 clients at $500 a piece, 100 clients at $50 a piece. Now here's one thing I can tell you. The 100 clients at $50, not only is that going to be a whole lot more work for you, it's also going to lead to a lot more challenging customer service and client issues. Because a client who comes in at a higher price point, you will discover this, you may have already discovered it if you've tested out price points, will be a lot more focused on taking action on what you share, and they will be a lot less demanding in general. All right, so think about where you want to price yourself and how that gets you to your income goal. So if you're looking to hit 6 figures, that's, I believe, $8,333 a month. Don't quote me. Use a calculator. I wrote out my math for this in advance for a reason. That would be what? 4 clients at about $2,000 a month, or 2 clients at $4,000 a month, right? So do some math for yourself. Write that down. What is that number that you're actually looking to hit, both in terms of income, in terms of clients, and in terms of package prices? Start there to give yourself an idea of what's the actual simplest path to that goal. Like, what would actually work to get you there consistently every month? If all you have to do is find 1 client a month, wow, okay, that's easier, right? Or 2 clients or 4 clients. Okay, so think about it that way. If 4 clients a month could get you to your goal, in this case, 5 clients at 1,000 would get you to 5K, that's about a client a week. What I'm going to show you can easily be converted into 1 new client a week. And that's actually the main numbers that I'll share are for getting 1 new client a week. I'm going to give you like a daily action plan. I'll show it to you. This is a daily action plan. And if you go through this every single day, you will get at least 1 new sale a week, 1 new client a week. All right. So who specifically can you offer this to? As you're thinking about your dream work, your superpowers, and that package, who are you looking for? And get really, really specific. Who are you looking for? One thing that I see happen a lot when people aren't closing sales is because they aren't confident in their offer. And it's not so much that you don't believe you can do it, it's that you don't know if that client can do it. So what you've got to do is get really specific on who your client is. For example, I know that for me to help a client get results, they need to know what they're offering. Like, I can't give them their superpower. I can't give them their offer. I can help them tweak it. I can help them figure out how to position it, how to message it. But they've got to know what they do, and they've got to basically have a skill and be willing to sell what people buy. And for most of us, that's just a matter of tweaking your languaging a little bit and focusing on the value. And I give you a really specific example of it that may crack you up in a minute, but you also may recognize yourself in it, because I certainly did. So we're going to go over that. But who specifically can you offer it to? You know, I had an offer that I put out, I think it was about 1.5 years, maybe 2 years ago. And I was having a really hard time pushing myself to get on calls and offer it to people. And I realized the reason was because I wasn't confident that the people I was talking to could actually get a result. In fact, if you've ever found yourself in this situation like I did, where you're getting on sales calls and you're not making an invitation, you're not offering them the option to buy something, well, first of all, it's not a very good sales call, right? But second of all, it's probably because you are feeling less than confident in something about your offer or who you're offering it to. So figure that out. What do they need to have in place to make it work? For that particular offer, people actually needed a list and connections. And so once I started filtering that way and just not getting on the phone with somebody who wasn't a good fit, like actually finding out in advance, hey, okay, tell me about your list, your community, your connections right now. If I could filter into the right people who I knew would get a result, then I was excited to get on the phone and make that offer. right? So think about that, not just in terms of what assets does somebody have, including can they financially afford to invest, but also in terms of mindset, like where do they need to be? I know if I get on the phone with somebody who just keeps giving me reason after reason after reason that previous coach, previous program, previous process has not worked, they're probably not in a place where I can support them, because they're probably not going to dive in and test out what I'm suggesting they do as a plan of action, right? Because they're not in the right mindset. So mindset wise, where does somebody need to be? And can you either find people who are already there, or can you help them get there during your sales process? Because during your call, you can actually help people. And this process does involve connecting with people either by messenger, by text, by email, by phone, having an actual conversation. You can't be afraid to have conversations if you want to get new clients. All right. What's the big result you can promise to your clients? So how do you provide value? What's the value in it for your client? I want you to take some time, like pause this video. Even if you're watching me live, you can pause. Or if you're watching the replay, pause. Write down, what are the ways your offer is valuable? What are the things you're delivering that your client will look at, your potential client, and say, yeah, that's worth this investment to me. Another thing that I know is if I want to sell a program that's $5,000, then I probably need to talk to people who are selling at least a $2,000 package themselves, because with 3 clients, they've made their investment back. If I can't show you how to get 3 clients with that program, I probably shouldn't be charging $5,000 for it, right? The value isn't there. I have to be able to provide the value to make it worth it for someone to invest, and I have to be able to show them that value. So write down all the ways that you provide value for your clients. And then ask yourself, and this goes to really creating an irresistible offer. What can you offer to make it easier for somebody to get that big result? So are there checklists? Are there templates like I'm about to give you this evening? Is there a guide? I actually have pieces of all of those in what I'm giving you, because I know that will make it easier for you to get the big result. Because again, it's actually about implementation and taking action. What stops us most of the time? Not being clear on what action to take, right? I would bet if you're watching this, you're willing to do the work. You're already doing work. It's just not getting you the result you want. You're not afraid to put the time in, as long as you know it's focused on the right things and it's going to lead to something, right? So if I give you that template of here's what to do every day, then we're talking. Then you've got something you can do, you can take action on to get to that result. All right. So think about that for your clients. Whatever it is you do, what can you give them that you can look at and go, yeah, if they follow this, I know they're going to get the value out of it. Right? That's actually what I asked myself when I started prepping for this particular workshop is, what do I need to include? What do I need to give you to make this valuable so that you walk away going, now I know what to do, and you go and implement it. Ask yourself that about the program or the offer that you've got for clients. Now brainstorm your offer, and please remember, sell the value. Do not sell your time. Do not sell the process, right? If I sat here and told you, well, every day you're going to have to take these 37 action steps and it's going to take you exactly 12 hours to do this, you don't want to pay for that, right? Who wants to pay for a process and all of that time that either I'm investing in? You got to sell the value. You got to look at what's in it for your client. That's when they can get excited, and you need them excited, because if they're not excited, first of all, they won't say yes, but worse yet, they won't take action. And what you really want is to provide value, a transformation of some sort, a result, a solution, something where you look at your clients and you go, I'm proud of this. I'm proud of what we've created together. I feel good about offering this. I feel good about accepting payment for it because I know I've delivered a result, right? So what's the value? Now, here's an example. This example comes from a program that I coach with the marketing mentors called Revenue Rev Up. And our focus during that program is to help people make in 90 days what they previously made in a year. So this is like a really intense program. But one of the things we do is we talk about positioning and messaging. And I want you to look at these 2 ways of explaining the exact same offer. So listen and see if you hear the difference and which one of these you would actually be interested in finding out more about and potentially saying yes to. Option A. Well, We'll get together for an hour each week for the next 12 weeks, and we're going to work on improving your relationship. At this point, most of us would go into painstakingly involving the process involved. So I'm going to have you do worksheets, and you're going to have homework every week, and I'm going to focus on changing XYZ with you. Right? I only charge $100 an hour, and since you're getting 12 sessions, you're getting a discount, so you only pay $1,000. Okay. And I love the comment Adam put in here, hey, don't laugh, I've done that. How many of us have done that? We've gotten on a call and said, hey, so what we'll do is we'll take 12 weeks and we'll have an hour session every week. And normally I charge X number of dollars an hour, but since you're paying for 12 weeks, you're going to get a discount. What is in it for the client in that case? You're not tying it to the value. And since I started out working as a virtual assistant, this is exactly what I used to say. So you'll get X number of hours of my time. I charge X number of dollars an hour, but if you buy 10 hours in advance, I'll give you a discount. Well, that's not very compelling, right? There's no like tying it to the value. And plus then I'm locked into spending an hour or however many hours it is, even if that's not necessary. What if you could provide that value in a really short period of time and you don't actually need an hour a week? Don't tie yourself to trading time for money. Don't put an hourly rate in there where people can do the math and go, okay, so it's this many dollars an hour. Not only does that not serve you, because if you're really good at something, you're probably fast at it. You shouldn't be penalized for being an expert at what you do. When I do projects for people where I do tech work or where I do copy or things like that, I don't for a second even consider telling people how long it will take me anymore. Because I can get done in 15 minutes what might take another VA an hour or 2 hours to do. Not only that, I'll do it right because I understand the strategy behind it. I'm not just implementing what somebody tells me to. Now, should I be penalized if $50 an hour is the going rate and it takes somebody else 2 hours? That means they're making $100 for that project. If it only takes me 15 minutes, 50 divided, should I make $15 for the same thing somebody else is charging $200 for when I can do it faster and better? No. So do not do that to yourself. Package what you offer differently. Look at option B here. Our 90-day totally in love transformational experience is perfect for you. Imagine being on this exciting journey, which will make you fall in love with yourself in a good way, with your life, and with your significant other. Wow. It will totally transform your life. You'll have a happy, healthy, deeply fulfilling relationship. Doesn't that sound good? Imagine how much more joyous and fulfilling your life will be. If my program could do this for you, wouldn't that be totally worth it? Now, doesn't that sound better than 12 weekly hour-long sessions where we're going to work on improving your relationship? Dramatically better, right? Think about how you're naming and positioning what you do. Totally in love transformational experience. Now I'm interested, right? That's way better than let's work on improving my relationship. What would you be willing to invest in a program that changes everything? A lot, right? But the good news is your investment in the entire Totally in Love transformational experience is only $5,000. Now notice, there's no mention of discounts. There's no mention of how long sessions are, or even if there's weekly sessions. It's a 90-day program. That already sounds more attractive to me. The idea that it's been packaged into a program tells me there's a start point, there's an end point, there's a process we're going to go through. So the process is still in there. It's not that you don't have a process, it's you're not selling based on what your process is. It's not anywhere saying, here's the tools we'll use, here's the worksheets, here's the homework. It's focused on the outcome because that's what people need to believe in to say yes and to get results with you, is focusing on that outcome. All right. So I want you to think about that for how you explain what you do. Okay. Take some notes and practice writing this out for your offer. Now, once you've got that figured out, we want to get tactical. We're going to go into exactly how to get people's attention, how to talk to them, how to handle objections, those conversations, all of that. So what tactics will you use now that you generally know what you're offering? And again, pause me and work on these different pieces. What tactics are you going to use? The first thing to figure out is where are your clients hiding? And actually, I have a document that I need to upload really quick to give you guys. Let me do that. Give me 1 second here. I just realized this was only on my computer instead of in my Google Drive, and that does not work. I can't share that with you. So I'm going to upload it really quick, and I will put this link in chat. This is something that I used before, and I'm just going to share it as kind of an example to help you decide where to focus online. All right, here it is. And let me get the link. All right. So I'm going to open this on my screen and share it with you guys in chat. All right, so here is the link. And here it is on my screen. Okay. So like I said, I developed this a few years ago. It's actually got Google Plus on it, which nobody is even able to use anymore, so you can ignore that one, but the rest of it is really valuable. If it will let me zoom in. It's still loading. So what this does is walks you through some questions. Okay, come on, zoom in. And I encourage you to take a few minutes and actually go through this and answer the questions. So you start here, zoom in a little bit more, because you can see this actually. Okay. This will walk you through some basics that'll help you decide which of the social networks are a good fit for you, so you know where to actually focus. And this is based both on what do you enjoy, what are you good at, and where your clients at, right? So there's certain things that LinkedIn is perfect for. If you sell something that's for entrepreneurs or business people or corporate, your B2B, get yourself on LinkedIn and focus on that. Depending on what you offer, Instagram or Facebook might be a better choice, but this will help you figure that out. And I'm not going to go into it. You guys can look at this on your own. I just want you to have something that'll help you zero in on that. Where are your clients hiding? Because you need somewhere to start. That's the social media selector. And I want you to really think about something before you do anything on social media. This is a mistake I've made and a lot of people I know make, which is don't generate content, generate leads. What does that mean? Don't spend your time just posting stuff and liking stuff and randomly spending time on social media, right? If I am not focused when I get on Facebook, I can tell you, I will sit there and watch funny cat and dog videos and things like that all day long, or I'll go read political debates. That's not going to get me leads. And posting that kind of content isn't probably going to get me leads either, unless I'm in politics or something to do with pets and animals, right? If I'm in animal communication or dog training or something like that, then absolutely that's the kind of content that I should post, because that'll generate leads. But really think strategically about what you're posting and where, and I'm going to give you some more specifics to help you with this. But everything you do should be designed to generate leads. So how can you get the attention of the people that we identified a few minutes ago that you really want to work with? And are you putting calls to action in your content? Calls to action can be things like, hey, leave me a comment, hit like, share this. It can be you asking a question in the post that gets people to interact. And actually, I'm going to give you some examples of this. Let me open up my Facebook profile. And really think it would be helpful. And I can show you some of the thinking behind what I post. I need coffee. All right, so that I can do this a little faster, let me go into the grid view. Let's see more of my posts at once. And the same things I'm going to share here apply to LinkedIn. They apply to Instagram, wherever you are at. Okay. So let's just go over some of my recent posts, and I'm going to tell you what I was thinking and whether they're lead generating or not. All right, so I posted this and I used the Facebook image background. I see you. Thank you for being brave enough to take the risks of entrepreneurship. Well, first of all, I had some coaching calls that day that inspired this, like just watching how brave you have to be to actually work through like what you're working through right now, right? It's scary. You have to take risks. You have to put yourself out there. And I see the amazing difference that my clients are making and that other entrepreneurs are making. And so this was partially me just feeling like I wanted to post that. But who's going to like a post like that? Only people who are entrepreneurs. So if I want to find out who from my friends are entrepreneurs, something like this is great to post, because now I can open this up and see, okay, 69 people liked or commented with, and literally people were telling me when they were leaving their job that they wanted to chat. I mean, this is me just posting something inspirational, but it is generating leads for me. It's identifying people who would be interested in what I do because I coach entrepreneurs, right? Let's look at a couple more. Okay, cat or dog, that was just me. I want to adopt a pet, and I was trying to figure out what to go after. And as I put in the post, none of the rescue shelters have unicorns. So it's down to a cat or a dog. It's not that you can only post lead generating content, right? It's social media. Be social, be personable. But when you are posting for business, focus on that. Want to be taken more seriously? Show up more seriously. Things like that when I post them are just to get people interacting with me so that my posts continue to show up in their feed. Now this one here, this was a rant. But in this rant, I have a photo of me with some very well-known people in our space. Why did I post that? Well, partially because I wanted to rant about some of the things we women tend to believe that may not necessarily be true. Because remember, reality is what you make it. You can create your own reality if you decide to, so decide to. Don't accept what people tell you is true, and you might just find that it's not really true. So this one, I talk about a lot of entrepreneurial mindsets, especially as they apply to women, and I go into detail. I share some personal stuff in this post. This post was, again, designed to interact with people who have a similar mindset. So as I went through this and talked about, here's what's stopping us. I know that my ideal clients tend to be amazing at what they do, but held back by limiting beliefs. They don't have the confidence yet. They don't have the systems yet to really get themselves out there big. And so I know that something like this is inspiring in my audience. And I actually had multiple people email me to find out about working with me. And there's not even a direct call to action in this. There's a, hey, anything is possible. Believe in yourself. Show up. Don't wait until you feel ready. But I know that this language from my audience tends to get them responding. And you can see 99 responses on this. And now I can go through and reach out to all those people and say, hey, thanks for liking or hearting or wowing my post. What part of it resonated with you? Or have you found yourself in a similar situation? Or just, hey, tell me about what you're up to these days, right? And start a conversation. I will talk more about that and transitioning in a minute. But you can see lots of comments on this. And I've got to go back in and reply to those. But that's a post that's designed to find my clients. This here, be brave enough to suck at something new. That's a mindset thing. Like I said, I know that's something my clients are working on. This post, this one also people privately messaged me and emailed me about. And this is personal. Like, this was about me going to a Krav Maga class and getting punched in the face, right? Sometimes we hesitate to share personal things like that, but tie it to business, tie it to what you do with clients. And it makes for something way more interesting than a, hey, here's what I offer post, right? This is about trying new things. It's about being brave enough to go for something, even if you know you're probably going to suck at it, because the first time you do anything, you're not good at it, right? At least I'm never good at anything the first time I do it. And I know that holds me back in business because I'm afraid to do certain things because I'm probably going to fail. I'm not going to get it right. I'm going to see all these things that I should have done better. But if I don't start somewhere, I can't ever get good at it. So you got to be willing to be bad at something in order to get good at it. And again, this is a mindset type post, right? And again, you got some comments, I got some shares. I actually sent this out to my newsletter I think that was this morning. And people responded to it. They appreciated that post. Let's see, a bunch of stuff about different things I've been in, Facebook Lives. Let's see. I'm looking for a couple of specific posts. So here's one. What's one movie everyone should see? Now, that might seem like a really frivolous thing to post, but I'm looking for specific responses. Just like when I ask, what podcasts are you listening to? What books do you recommend? You'll see me post that frequently. I am looking for the people who have a self-development or business-related reason or inspiration for what they shared. And when I go through here and see some of these, it tells me what people are watching. I watch because I know my client. I know who I'm looking for. I watch for things like documentaries. Somebody in here somewhere mentioned, let's see, let me just go through these. Well, Inception, for example. Now, yeah, that's a movie, but that has crazy implications for business. I could start a conversation about that really easily that goes to business. Okay, some people have a lot of different movie choices. Let's see. The Princess Bride, yes, everyone should watch that movie. Let's see, but this gives me ways to reach out and start conversations with people. And some of it, you know, from what people say, like what matters to them. Like here, Eric Nevins posted not just the movie he watches, but what it meant to their family. Now, that's a great reason to reach out and start a conversation, right? Let's see. I know there was some in the Matrix. I could definitely start a conversation about that. I know there were some documentaries in here somewhere because I reached out to people who posted about them, and this is a really long post. I don't actually need to find it. I just wanted to give, oh, there we go, Forks Over Knives. I just want to give you some ideas of what I'm looking for so you can kind of, I love this movie, kind of give you some ideas. Okay, let's get out of that post. I'm off like a squirrel. Okay, here's another one. What podcast did you listen to most recently? Well, what am I looking for? Who's being intentional about business development, especially are they listening to anything sales or marketing related? Because that tells me they're looking to grow in those areas. Maybe I can help them with that, right? Discipline equals freedom. This was another mindset post about one of the biggest lessons I've learned. Again, it's got some likes. Now, I'm not actually looking for hundreds of people to interact with me. All I need to find is one client a week in that example of numbers, right? One client a week. And depending on what I offer, I've got certain things I offer that one client a month could actually take care of my personal goals for several months, right? So you aren't looking for huge numbers. It doesn't matter if you have 100 likes on something. You only need one like from the right person to start a conversation and close a new client. So completely let go of any attachment to what they call vanity metrics, because that is just vanity metrics. Let's see. What's your best tip for getting your energy and groove back and staying high energy? Now, partially I posted that because I just got over being sick for like 3 or 4 weeks straight. I was trying to get myself back, but also because I wanted to see what are people doing and how can I start a conversation based on that? Because I'll go through these comments and look and see, okay, is this person an entrepreneur? Would they make an ideal client based on their profile? And then I'll reach out. Hey, thanks for leaving me that tip. You know, I had been sick for a while and I was just looking for ways to really get my energy back. And that one was helpful for me. Hey, I would love to know what you're up to these days in business. Really simple to start a conversation from that. I posted kind of a master class here. I did a Facebook Live. It was an hour and 7 minutes, apparently. That was designed to get people's attention, to start a conversation, to bring clients to me. And I believe I actually made a direct call to action, like join me for this program in that video. And it worked. I got people from Facebook signing up for the program. So don't be afraid to actually make a direct offer as well. Okay, a lot of these PSA for my entrepreneur friends. Are you showing people they can trust you? This was a tutorial I wrote about different ways to establish trust with your audience. Made a commitment to start blogging again. What would you love to see me write about? Why would I ask that? Well, yeah, I'm looking for ideas, but also if somebody says I want you to write about X, they're probably looking for help with X. So I can do two things. One, I can reach out, and if I've got resources already about it, say, hey, saw your comment. Actually, I already have a great blog post, PDF, video about that. Here you go. Or most of the time I will ask before I send something, is it cool if I send it to you? And almost always people will respond with yes. I mean, I'm offering them free support, free help, right? About something I know they're interested in. So think about that. This one about questioning your assumptions, again, it's a mindset thing. I'm looking for just the right people to respond. And we can go through here and you'll see a whole bunch more. An interview that I did, I absolutely shared in my personal profile because, again, that's both expert positioning. Somebody else interviewed me, positioning me as an authority, right? And it's valuable content that I can put out and continue building value with my connections. Right, so a bunch of stuff. You can see the kind of things, I mean, I post images like that a lot of where I'm going to network, to learn, because part of my value I know from my clients is in who I know. Because if I know somebody you want to be connected with, well, hey, guess what? If you're a client, I would probably be happy to introduce you to them. Now, I'm not going to say I'm not going to introduce somebody who's not a client, but if you are working with me, then I'm constantly thinking about who can I connect you with, right? All right, I think that's probably enough examples of different things that I post. I post things like this, and I've had people like call me out for that, of posting photos from mud runs and things like that I do, but I know to my ideal clients, it's actually inspiring and it's funny. I mean, I'm covered in mud, right? What's not funny about that and unexpected? I want to interrupt the patterns people are used to. I want to challenge what they believe about me, because if I can show you that I can do things that you would look at me and think, there ain't no way she could do that. Well, if I can do it, it probably means the things that you think you can't do, you can do too, right? So it's really about challenging people's beliefs, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. Okay, enough examples. That'll give you some ideas. Oh, actually, let me give you one more example. Let me find one. Where was it? Okay, more mud races are in here. I had a post somewhere. Okay, well, you might be a marketer. If you're excited, your opt-in page converts at 84%. That one goes to, yes, I was excited, but proof that I can actually do what I'm teaching, because that was a crazy conversion rate on something that I sent out. Somewhere I had a post in here, and I might not be able to find it this quickly. Yeah, it's hiding from me. Where I went into a tutorial about SEO. And I'm not concerned about giving away too much, because I know in one Facebook post or in 365 Facebook posts, I can't possibly tell you everything that you need to know, right? And it's not personalized to you. What you need is specific information about how to make things work for you. So even if you were to put out everything about your system, people are still going to want to know, okay, but how do I implement it? How does that apply to me? Help me customize this so that I can do it too, right? So don't be afraid of giving away too much. You can't, right? The more that you teach, more you will sell, because people will understand who you are and what you can do for them. It's your way of proving that they can trust you. All right, totally off topic. Let me get back to my slides here. So don't just put content up to put content up. Actually generate leads. All right. And one more little PS. Don't ever, please, don't you dare make a decision for somebody else about what they need, what they want, or what they can afford. There have been times that I know people haven't made me offers in the past in my business because they didn't think I could afford it. Well, guess what? If I want something, if I know that it's going to help me, I can find a way to invest in it. All of us can, right? So don't make that decision for somebody else. And you might be surprised what resources people actually have. Never hesitate to make an offer because you're deciding for the client that they can't afford you. That's not your decision. If you know you can help them, it's your responsibility to make that invitation. All right, so just a quick mindset thing before we go on. So let's get into some specific tactics here. The first thing that I encourage you to do, and this is the fastest way to actually get some new clients and sales in your business, is the weekly love list. Now, I've heard people call this a hit list, and that just sounds so violent, so I've renamed it weekly love list. And I'm going to give you a link to this. You can, again, make a copy of this document or download it as a PDF. So let me grab this link. And what you want to do with this is every single week. So you might want to do this on the weekend. I usually do mine on Sunday. And yes, I actually use this process. Again, walk your talk, talk your walk. Give you guys this link. What? Okay, that was not the whole link. Hang on. I just did something odd. Apparently, I have not mastered cut and paste. Okay. Copy link. Weekly love list, attempt number 2. Here. There we go. There's a link for you to this one. All right. So you don't have to be perfect. You just got to give people value, right? Okay. So the way to use this is either print it off or just make a copy of it. Again, I'll show you this file. Make a copy. And I always put my name at the front when I make a copy of something so that I know when I have it open, it's mine. And I'm not trying to edit somebody else's document, or worse yet, editing a document that other people have access to. So make your copy of it like this, and then just go through it. And it's loading. Now let's close that and go back to the original one. That's faster. Okay. And then make a list for yourself. Who can you reach out to and offer value and support to? Create this weekly love list and watch what happens when you just start conversations to be of service with people who are potential ideal clients. Very, very, very important. Don't just do this randomly. Actually, make a list of who would you love to work with. And don't restrict yourself to people that you think are below where you're at in terms of whatever your area of expertise is. Actually, look at people who look more like your peers. Okay? Look at people who look like your mentors. Would they be an ideal client? If so, make that offer. Invite them to work with you. So write down this list of names and then just write down, how can you add value? What do you see them focus on? Take 5 minutes and do the research. What do you see them posting on Facebook, on their blog, sending to their email list, wherever you're connected with them? And ask yourself, what could I do that would add value to this person? Sometimes it might be sending a resource. Sometimes it might be reaching out and connecting them with somebody. I do that a lot. I'll send Facebook messages and say, hey, I would love to introduce you to person X. Are you cool with that? And then I loop them into a Facebook message together, tell people while I'm introducing them to each other. And then, of course, whoever I originally reached out to with, hey, can I introduce you, is going to write back and say, thanks, I appreciate that, which opens up a conversation. And I can say, tell me a little bit about where you're at with business right now. You can ask a different question, of course, that applies to what you do, but ask a question. Because the key to actually getting clients to say yes and work with you is just be curious. Be curious until you find that thing that you can support them with. Don't be too tied into, this is the package I offer. Look for ways to deliver value. And that may mean tweaking your offer a little bit or positioning it differently. That's okay to do. You don't have to offer the exact same thing to everybody that you work with, and you shouldn't. You should find what's a value to that person that you can deliver on, make that your offer. All right, so get creative. But write down, name, how you can add value to them, and just do names first, right? Just write out 20 people who you could reach out to, who you're connected with, and then how can you add value to them? And then put in a contact information for them. So are you going to email? Are you going to Facebook message them? Are you going to text them? Are you going to give them a call? It's not caught up with me. I did. Oh, there we go. And then track for yourself. Have you done it? Yes. And just reach out. 20 people, 4 people a day. You've started 20 conversations with ideal clients. Do you think out of those 20 people, at least one of them is ready, willing, and able to work with you right now? Pretty good odds, right? So, and I'm going to give you some specific ways, those 10 ways. Actually, okay, there's 12. I couldn't stop at 10, but I'm going to give you those ways to figure out who to put on this list in a minute. So don't panic if you're sitting there going, I don't know 20 people. I promise you, you do. All right, so that's your weekly list. Do that every single week, and you will find people who want what you have to offer. Here's a message that you can use as an idea. And again, this is if you have a relationship is the example, but it can be used for anything. Hey friend, I was thinking of you lately. Last time we connected, you mentioned you had some concerns about X. Is this still the case? Right? Make that sound like you. So for me, I might say something like, hey, you popped into my head the other day. I remember we had a conversation where you were looking for some support with your content marketing and trying to figure out how to get more people to see your content to build your visibility. Are you still looking for that? And then wait for a response. Right? Most people are going to say yes to that question if they're in business. And make this whatever you actually talk to them about if it's somebody you know. I've got a few ideas how you could, in this template, turn things around quickly. Would love to share them with you if you're interested. No obligation, just my way of being of service and supporting you. Would you like that? Again, most people are going to say yes. Great, let's set up a time when we can talk. 30 minutes so I can walk you through my ideas. If you start with that, just share ideas with people on the first call. Don't be afraid to give value, because then what happens at the end of the call is you can say something like, hey, I've actually got a program that would be a great fit for you. No pressure, but if you'd like to hear about it, I would love to set up another call. Don't sell on that call. Make an offer to set up an actual sales call, because then when you connect for that call, you both know what you're there for, right? There's no feeling weird because you're like, they think they're here for ideas and I'm gonna have to sell them. No, just set up a sales call with them. That's easy to do. You've only got to be brave for about 15 seconds and say, I have a program that would be a great fit for you. I would really love to share details with you if you're open to it. Sometimes people ask you to share it right then, but you can also set up another call to do that, or you can send it to them in Messenger or email or wherever you have them, right? All right, so let's look at a daily action plan. That was just to give you an idea of what you can send to those people on that first list. Okay, daily business growth action plan. Let me give you this link. Where is my share button? There it is. And with my little sidetrack on content, we might go a little bit over an hour, but not too bad. All right. Just want to make sure I give you stuff that you can really use and examples of it, because I know for me, theory is great, but if I don't see an example, I'm going to have a hard time implementing. So I wanted to give you some examples of Facebook content. Okay. Daily action plan. Again, make a copy of this for yourself or make a PDF. Let me show you that just one more time. So go to File and Download PDF. Now this one I like to actually have printed, and I keep them on my desk. And again, yes, I use this especially when I'm in a phase where I'm looking to really ramp up my business and get new clients in, because it works, and it works so much more reliably than emailing my list. Which sounds crazy because most of you guys know I have a pretty decent sized list that I've built over the past almost 12 years, because I didn't start building a list till I'd been in business for about 8 years, which in some ways was a huge mistake, but it also means for 8 years, I got clients in without having an email list. You can absolutely build a business without a list. I didn't have a following on Facebook or anywhere else either. I was slowly building that. I was just posting content and reaching out to people and networking. I was getting referrals, and we're going to talk about that. But okay, so this is very similar to what I was doing way back then that kept me in business for 8 years before I realized that I needed to build an email list and started doing that. And even now with the list I've got, this is more effective more quickly. All right, so 3 daily marketing actions every single day. Every day that you're in the office, this might be Monday through Friday for you. That's okay. Choose your days, right? Take 3 marketing actions. That's 3 actions designed to get you noticed by potential ideal clients, okay? So some ideas. Post on your Facebook profile. I just showed you a whole bunch of things that you can post on your Facebook profile to get people's attention and get them kind of self-selecting, hey, I'm an ideal client right here, right? That's what we want. People reaching that hand up and identifying themselves. Can you post in your Facebook group? Can you do a live video? Go live and just share a story and how it relates to what you do for clients. Share a story about something from your personal life that relates to it. Share a client story. Share some teaching tips. So are there a 3-step process or 3 easy things or a meditation or an exercise, something you can share that your ideal audience would love? Do a Facebook Live about it. Can you go into a Facebook group and answer questions? I do that all the time in other people's Facebook groups. If other people have gathered my ideal clients in a nice little Facebook group, Why would I not go in, look for questions and answer them? I just got the attention because I was helpful to somebody who's a potential ideal client. And again, I am not looking for thousands of people. I'm just looking for one person a week to raise their hand and say, yes, I want to work with you. You have something I need. That's it. When you look at it that way, the numbers aren't that hard. That's totally doable. Find one person a week. You can do that. All right. Are you going to private message people on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter? Are you going to reach out to past clients? That's one of the easiest ways to get a new client in is to reach out to a past client. Reach out to new connections. So I go through my Facebook page and my groups in alphabetical order. So I will go to my friends list and just start with the A's and send a, hey, it's been a while since we talked. What are you up to these days? Or, hey, we've been friends on Facebook and we've never messaged back and forth. Let's fix that. Tell me a little bit about what you're up to in business these days. Right? I just start with something like that. You can start with whatever question makes sense for you, but just be curious, get people talking, and you will find the ones who actually need your support. You're going to write what's called lighthouse content. That's where you write a more detailed tutorial, like some of the ones I showed you, where, it's not a short post. It's fairly long, it's fairly detailed, but it's designed to really attract your ideal clients. Email your list, call or message the people on your love list. So just pick 3. What are 3 things you can do today? And every day that you're in your office that are marketing actions. If you consistently do that, you will generate leads. You just have to look at it the right way and realize if somebody likes that post, if somebody comments on that post, if somebody responds to your message, they're a potential lead. So engage. Don't be afraid to have a conversation, and don't be afraid to tell them what you do and how you can help them. When people are in pain, they want a solution. You're doing them a disservice if you don't make that offer. And yeah, occasionally somebody might be like, whoa, that was pretty assertive. If I'm going to hire somebody to help me fix a problem, I want somebody assertive. Because first of all, if I could fix it on my own, I already would have. Clearly, I need support, I need expertise, I need guidance, and I probably need a little bit of kick in the hiney to make that happen. The coaches that I've worked with that have helped me get results, they've been assertive with me even before I was a client. So don't be afraid to take that stand for somebody and be a little bit aggressive. You want to help them. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. So don't be embarrassed about that. Don't be ashamed of it. Get out there and help them. All right, mini rant over. Daily new connections. So if you already have a ton of friends on Facebook or a ton of connections on LinkedIn or Instagram or somewhere else, and you have not been strategically connecting with those people, start with who you've already got. Like I said, I will start in my Facebook group. I've done this several times this year, and just A to Z, I'll pick 1 or 2 letters a day and just go through and message everybody whose name starts with that letter. You can sort your list. And like if I go into one of my groups, let me actually open one up. I'll show you how to do this in case you aren't sure. Let's go into Planet Business. Right here. So I've got 186 people who've joined this group. That means they are at least interested in having their own business and probably already have their own business. Here are numbers. And then I'm going to sort it because otherwise this is impossible to keep track of. I'm not huge on spreadsheets, not huge on that type of organization. So find what works for you. If you love spreadsheets, then absolutely keep a spreadsheet, but you don't have to. So as soon as this loads, okay, today Facebook would be awesome. Let's close that. I promise there's a way to do this if it will load the members page. Let's try refreshing. Sometimes technology just does have that mind of its own. Okay. So once you are inside of your members list, all members, yeah, I don't message pages because I want to talk to people. I go here, and instead of default order, which I believe is roughly chronological by when they joined, I can set to alphabetical. Now, I could go through here one at a time and send all of these people a message. And if I'm only shooting to connect with 5 or 10 people a day, it does not take that long. All right, seriously, that's a 10, 15-minute thing. Copy and paste, customize the message with people's names and something personal, but it doesn't take that long to do. Let's go back to this. So your daily connections can be people you're already connected with, either on Facebook or on LinkedIn or in a group that you host, like my Facebook group I just showed you, or you could just go looking for people. So go into a group that you know has your ideal audience. One easy way for me to do that is I'll go look at programs I've joined, because if it's for business, everybody in that group I consider a potential client, right? So I can go into a group that I got in because I paid for a program. Go connect with those people that are members of that group. You find the groups where your audience is at, where your ideal clients are, just start connecting with them, right? So make that list. Make sure you've connected with at least 10 new people. And that does mean actually sending them a message and saying hello, not just hit the friend button and wait for them to respond. No. You actually have to talk to people, engage with them. And then set a goal of these connection messages that you're sending, invite at least 2 of them to a conversation with you, because if you get 2 people on the phone, one of them is probably going to be a good fit that you can make an offer to. So if you set the goal of getting 5 people a day into conversation, getting one of them on the phone with you and making an offer, by the end of the week, you should have a new client when you do that consistently. Now, the numbers that work for me are I will message 25 people a day. Right? So I'll send out 25 messages because usually about 5 of those will respond and actually have a conversation with me. So I'll do this in the morning, and then later in the day, like early afternoon, I'll go look for responses and hit them back with something. And then later in the evening, so this does involve checking in. For me, 3 times a day works. I know people who do it twice a day. I know people who only check in once a day, and it works. It's just a little bit slower. But message people back and see if you can get to a conversation, and then see who makes sense to make an offer to. But if I message 25 people in the morning, throughout the day, I'll usually get at least 5 of them to respond and be able to go back and forth. And at least one of them, I can get into either a conversation on the phone or back and forth in Messenger that lets me make an offer and invite them to work with me in some way. And when I do that, if I'm actually inviting 5 people a week to work with me, at least one of them is going to say yes. Right? So, one invitation a day. Usually that for me is a couple of sales calls, because I don't make an offer to everybody I talk to. Some people do. They just make that an exercise of I will make an offer every conversation I have. I put 2 on here because that way I can make an offer to just the right people. There's some space to celebrate sales. And then down here, some questions to ask yourself every single day. What did you learn today? What are you proud of? Like, if you actually followed this, that's something to be proud of, right? You took consistent action in your business. What could you approach differently? And what are you thankful for? Ask yourself those questions when you get to the end of the sheet each day, and it will really help you to look at the process differently and to acknowledge yourself for the little wins along the way as well. Right? So that's the daily action plan. You do that consistently, you will have new clients coming in. So once you get them on that conversation, what do? So the first thing that I really, really want to remind you of is the key thing to making a conversation with somebody work and actually convert into a client who's going to get results is belief. First of all, you got to believe in yourself and your offer. So start with that. And then you got to believe in them. Because most of the time when somebody's hesitating, wishy-washy, very often it has nothing to do with you, has nothing to do with your offer. What it has to do with is their level of belief and whether they can implement it, whether they can follow your process and your program, whether they can get results. Especially if you've been sharing content that shows your clients results and you're celebrating them. They already see that you can do it. You've done it for yourself. You could do it for others. This is really about their belief in themselves. And sometimes what they need is to borrow your belief in them. So if you can show them how much you believe that they can do it, that they can this time get a different result, that's going to completely change your conversations. So on a sales call, I don't follow a script. I basically do 3 things. I find out where they're at. So, hey, tell me what's going on for you right now in business. And if you just let somebody talk, you will be amazed at what information they'll share and how quickly you can figure out what's not working for them, right? Whether it's personal, whether it's business, whatever it is. So let them talk, ask questions and be curious. Where do they want to be? That's the second thing I try to figure out with people. Once they've told me where they're at, then, okay, well, what do you really want in your business? What are your goals? What are your financial goals? What are your client goals? What are your visibility goals? Like, big picture, what's your mission? What is it you want to see in your business? What's the lifestyle that you want to create? For a lot of my clients, it's really about being able to spend more time with family or being able to travel or something else. And then how can you help them get there? Because that's what you've got to do. Once you find out where they're at and where they want to be, then just start sharing with them. Well, here's what I would suggest. If that's what you really want, here's your next 3 steps. Talk the plan through with them. Ask them, does that sound like something you could do? Does that sound like that would work for you? What if we could X, Y, Z? So what if we could create a daily action plan that would show you exactly what to do every day so that you knew not only were you not spinning your wheels, but that you were using your time effectively, you were connecting with the right people, and you could turn those people into ideal clients. That would sound pretty good to most people who are not getting the clients they want, right? So then the question would be, how can I help them get there? Now, when I have that conversation with people, I will usually ask them, so if you had the plan, what kind of support would you need? What would help you actually take action and get it done? And very often they'll say accountability, or they'll say, I don't know what to say, I need a template, or something like that. Now, when they tell me what they need, then it's easy to say, well, you know what? Actually, I have a program that offers exactly that. It's called XYZ. Here's what it does. Here's the results clients get. Is it okay if I share some more details with you about it? Yes. Then you share the details. Right? So a sales conversation doesn't have to be scary or complicated. You don't need some kind of like 15-page script where you're trying to follow along, say all the right things. I've tested this out, and one of the things that can actually be really, really disarming for the person you're talking to and help you relax is to just kind of call yourself out at the beginning of the call and say, hey, you know what? I am not a great salesperson. That is not my skill set or my gift. So forgive me if I come off as awkward at any point during this conversation. What I am really good at is helping my clients X. So I might start a conversation, actually say something like, hey, I know this is a sales call and I'm supposed to pitch you, but I am terrible at sales. I get uncomfortable. So if I come off as awkward or sound really nervous, that's why. This isn't my gift. But what I can do is help clients create a business based on their goals and their gifts that they love and that they know exactly what to do every day to get the result they want. That's where my expertise is, and that's what I would love to help you do. So let's talk about that, right? And then they're not expecting some slick sales conversation. For most people, it's actually a relief to find out the person they're on the phone with is not a highly trained, high-pressure closer. Don't be afraid to call yourself out for something like that and just tell people. I'm going to give you 2 approaches that I found really effective as well. Actually, let me do that now. They're in here somewhere. Okay, so when you get on a conversation with somebody, set it up in a smart way. What does that mean? It means address the objections before you ever get there. So if I know that from my audience, a lot of times the objection I will get at the end of a sales call is either that's out of my budget, or they're not ready to invest, or I have to talk to somebody else before I can say yes, right? A spouse, a husband, a partner. So I will very often, when I'm talking to somebody, either in Messenger before I ever get on the phone with them or at the beginning of a conversation, say a couple of things. One that I will say is, hey, if we talk about this and what I can do for you is a really good fit, are you ready to make an investment and commit to doing that? And if somebody flat out says no at the beginning of the call, I'll say, okay, well, I appreciate your time, then, let them go. Or say, I can give you a few tips. Let me just do that really quick. Give them a couple of tips and get off the call, right? Because if they knew it was a sales call, that's not respectful of your time or theirs to waste anybody's time. So I will ask at the beginning. Another thing that sometimes I ask is, hey, so we're about to have a conversation about one of the programs I offer. If it's a good fit, are you the one who's going to make the decision about it right now, or is there somebody else you need to talk to? So I know from the beginning of the conversation, because if they tell me, no, I can make that decision, then if at the end of the call they say I need to talk to somebody else, I can nicely call them out for that a little bit and say, hey, okay, you know what? I totally get it. It's really important to consult people we trust when we're making big decisions. You did say at the beginning of the call that you could make this decision on your own. So what's changed? Help me understand. Because I just want to get the person talking so I can really understand what is it that they're feeling insecure about. Okay, that they felt the need to throw up that smoke screen, because if they told me they could make the decision, then it's probably a smoke screen. And most objections are somebody is nervous and you need to help them through that. Another way you can start the call from the beginning is to say, hey, you know what? I don't like pitchy sales calls. So I'm going to make a deal with you. We're going to go through this call and I'm not going to pitch you anything. If at the end of the call you see where I can help you, you're going to have to ask me how we can work together. You would be shocked at how well that works, because the person relaxes, you relax, you're able to actually deliver value. And at the end of the call, most of the time they'll ask, okay, so what would it look like if we work together? Then it's easy to share that invitation with somebody because they just ask you for it. So set up your calls that way and just stay really curious throughout the call. When somebody gives you an objection, ask them about it. If somebody throws out, doesn't matter what objection is, just say, okay, you know what? I hear you. I understand. Tell me more about that. And let them talk. Let them share with you why that's coming up for them. Because if they share, they will get to the root eventually of what's really going on. And then you can have that honest conversation with them about your invitation, about whether it's the right time for them, right? Okay, so because objections don't mean no, they just mean more information is needed. Almost always, it's not a real no, it's I'm uncomfortable and nervous right now, so I'm going to throw something at you that might be the end of the conversation. If the person got on the phone with you, they need your help or they wouldn't be there. So help them, right? Don't let a conversation end with an objection that you could address and help people turn it into a yes. All right, back up here. So the other thing that I said I would give you guys tonight is bonuses and incentives you can use to get people to say yes. So what can you do to get people excited? First of all, remember, when you incentivize somebody or you offer a bonus, it's not about you trying to close a sale. It's about you trying to help the client get a result. If they don't say yes, they're going to continue staying stuck in the pattern they've been in. That's not where you want them to be, and that's not where they want to be. So it really is about helping your client get a result, and it's about rewarding action. So one of the things that I've said to people before, because I know one of the reasons my particular clients aren't usually getting results is because they're not making decisions fast enough. They're going into overthinking mode, analyzing too much. They don't trust their gut instinct. So if I can reposition this as, hey, you know what? I have realized over the years that for me to get results with a client, my clients have to be willing to trust their gut and make faster decisions. So I reward people who are willing to do that because it tells me you're going to be an ideal client and I'm going to be able to help you get a result. Some ways you can do that. Fast action discount. I have seen this work more times than I can count. When I'm on the phone with somebody, when you're on the phone with somebody, let them know, hey, you know, normally this program is price X. But because I reward people who make decisions quickly, if you decide before the end of this call to work with me, I'll give you an X dollar discount, right? A pay in full discount. So this could be, and never price your programs as this is the price, but if you pay in payments, it's going to cost you more. Instead, whatever those payments total up to, that's your program price. So if I'm charging $2,500 a month for 3 months, my program is $7,500. However, if you pay in full, you get $1,000 or $1,500 off. So I might tell somebody, hey, this program is $7,500. You can pay it in 3 payments of $2,500. However, I do offer a pay in full discount. You get $1,500 off. If you pay up front in full, it's only $6,000. So that's another way to get people to not just say yes, but pay in full. Instant access bonus. So one thing that can be really effective is to say, hey, as soon as you decide to join me in this program, you'll get instant access to X. What's something you can give people right away? It might be a video of you teaching something. It might be an ebook. It might be a PDF, a training you've done, something you can give them right away that they can dive into. because very often when we're offering our services or programs, it might not start till next week. So doesn't that mean I have a week to decide? No, you should still decide right now while we're on the phone. Give people a reason to decide right now with something they can jump into. Results boosters. So, hey, and just for the next 48 hours, I have a bonus that is XYZ. It might be a checklist, a template, something that will help them get a result faster than if they didn't have it. And it's got to be something really valuable, but you can give people that clock and say, if you make a decision in the next 48 hours, I will throw this in. One-on-one time or session can be really valuable too. So you can say, I've got X number of spots available for clients right now. I've got a bunch more sales calls lined up. But what I can offer you if you make a quick decision is a bonus one-on-one session with me, right? Sometimes you can offer a personal review. Hey, one of the things I'm offering for people who sign up this week is a personal review of their sales page, their Facebook profile, their whatever the thing is, right? It can be some sort of review or analyzation of something in their life or their business that you can bonus them. Now, once you've done that, they're better positioned to get a result from the program or package you're offering them. So it's of service to both of you to give them that time to make sure they get started right. Or an early kickstart, either group or private. So one of the things that I do when I have a program launching, if it's not launching for 2 weeks, that doesn't mean people in the program don't get anything for 2 weeks, because a week before I will give them something as pre-work, something to set the course up, because that gives me a deadline. Hey, I would love to get you in this group before Monday, because on Monday we're starting pre-work and it's going to be XYZ that we're focused on to really help you get the most out of the program. I don't want you to be behind. So even though the program itself doesn't start for 2 weeks, I can set a week earlier deadline by having some sort of kickstart element to it, some sort of pre-work, right? But then that also means that the person doesn't make a decision, I can circle back right before it starts and say, hey, we're getting started tomorrow. The pre-work's available on demand. Whenever you sign up, you get instant access to that so you can get caught up and join us. So there's some of the things you can use to incentivize somebody to say yes now. We talked a little bit about objections already. Don't look at no as no. Look at no as, okay, so now I know this is where we start the negotiation. This is where we start figuring out what's really in your way. What's the real reason you're not feeling confident in saying yes? If you got somebody on the phone with you, they probably need your help. So don't give up that easily. Find out what's behind the no. Again, objections usually mean more information is needed. Now, I have other tabs up, which means I have a couple other things I wanted to share with you. First, this link right here, Facebook profile, will help you set your Facebook profile up so that you appear professional and come across well when you're looking to have those conversations with people, and use your Facebook for networking. LinkedIn, same thing. You want to set it up in a way that really reflects you, the best version of you, so people can see you're an expert at what you do. There's plenty of articles out there about that. The other thing I wanted to share with you. So this is email templates. They're copy and paste. These are free. I'm going to give you a link to where you can get them. And they're from HubSpot. They are fantastic. So here you go. For email, templates to directly ask someone for a referral. So current customers, past customers, let's see, a bunch more for current clients, someone who's been referred to you, follow-up email templates to send referrals, social media templates to let people know you have a referral program, social post templates. Let's see. So you can go through these. These will give you something to work with. And I want to give you that link. I put these links down here somewhere. That's this one. I always find it helpful to have something to start with. And I feel like I got one more thing to share with you, and we will be wrapped up for tonight. I also want to share this with you. These are objection overcome templates. It will just give you some ideas beyond what I've shared that will help you handle objections. Again, I have found instead of trying to overcome them, it's better to just understand them. Just be curious and ask somebody, so I hear you, I get it. Can you tell me more about that? And that will get people talking, and then you're able to not overcome it, but resolve it. Like, don't try to get past somebody's objection, actually help them resolve that objection so that they can say yes and be excited about it. All right. And then, yeah, that was all of the links I wanted to give you. Okay. So last thing here, and make sure you grab those links out of chat. I'm back. All right. I have 10 ways for you to actually, 12, for you to put this into action and fill up that weekly love list and your daily action plan. So if you're going to take 3 marketing actions a day, here's 12 you can choose from. Write these down. Okay. The first one is lighthouse content, which means kind of just putting something out there that's like a lighthouse that's attracting your ideal client. So teach more. Write posts that are valuable for people, and don't be afraid to share too much. Share on your Facebook or your LinkedIn profile and write those posts. Spotlighting, that means going out and finding your ideal clients and messaging them. It's okay to message somebody you don't know and say, hey, saw your Facebook profile, loved XYZ, or your LinkedIn profile. Find a common point that you can connect with, and then just say, hey, tell me more about what you do. Tell me more about X. Start a conversation and see where it goes. See if you can turn that into an opportunity to make an offer that will help somebody. 3, reach out to past clients. So anybody who's been a client before, put them on that weekly love list. Reach out and say, hey, I have something brand new that I would love to share with you. Are you cool if I send you some information about it? Really easy to do, and you're asking permission before you do it. You're not being like a pushy salesperson. You're asking somebody, hey, can I send you some details about something that would be helpful for you? Yes, please, right? Reach out to past leads. So go through your calendar and look at who's booked a session with you or who's reached out to you who didn't say yes at that time. Maybe now is the perfect time. You will never know unless you reach back out. I have had people contact me 3 and 4 and 5 times, and I ignored them the first 4 times, and the 5th time, even though I hadn't even responded previously, I was like, yes, actually now is a perfect time. I do want this. So don't be afraid to reach out to somebody who didn't respond before, or somebody who said no. That just meant it wasn't the right offer or the right time. What you're offering now might be perfect. Give people a chance. Again, do not make the decision for somebody else that they don't need, want, or can afford what you have. You have to make that invitation, okay? Number 5, business cards. Who has a stack of business cards from an event, from a networking meeting, from something else that you have not followed up with? Well, go follow up with all of those people. You probably have at least 20 of them. So go reach out. Say, hey, I just found your business card. Or, hey, I saw your business card on my desk today and realized we haven't connected since that event we met at. What are you up to these days? Again, just be curious and start conversations. Number 6, referrals. So you've got templates for that now. Reach out. Ask for referrals. Ask previous clients, ask current clients, ask colleagues, mastermind friends, anybody you're in a group with. Say, hey, I have a couple of spots open for clients. Who do you know that could use X, whatever it is you do? Competitors. This was one of the main things that I did when I was new in business that got me clients. Like I did web design, right? As a VA, I set up people's websites. I reached out to every single web designer I could find and said, hey, if you're ever too busy and you need somebody to refer people to, I would love to be on your referrals list. You'd be shocked how well that works, especially within certain circles, right? If they can find somebody, when I'm too busy and have to refer projects out, or even when I refer projects out because it's just not the right fit, I'm thrilled to have a list of people. Like earlier today, a client asked me for a referral for something really specific. I had to sit and go through my Facebook Messenger and ask people, who do you know that could do X? Who do you know that could do X? And I asked like 10 people because I wanted to be able to make that connection, but nobody's approached me to tell me they do it. I wish more people would reach out to me and say, hey, if you ever know somebody, in this case, who is a VA and good at Kajabi, or who's looking for a VA who's good at Kajabi, I would love for you to keep me on your referral list. If somebody had done that, they would have gotten a client referral today. As it was, it took me reaching out to a whole bunch of people, and I'm still following up on that one because I've only got one person on that list right now. But don't be afraid to reach out to people and say, here's what I do. If you know somebody who needs my services, please consider referring them to me. I pay a commission. I pay a referral thank you. people are looking for people they can trust. I am always looking for people I can trust who build websites or who do VA work that I can refer people to, right? Because good people are busy, hard to find. And if you are good at what you do, let people know. They will refer people to you. I promise. If you let enough people know what you do. Okay, so referrals, both clients, colleagues, all of that, plus your competitors. Don't be afraid to have that conversation. You would be shocked how often some of your competitors who are really busy are either too busy to take on a new client and looking for someone to farm it out to, or somebody's just not a good fit. Well, okay, they might be a perfect fit for you. I refer people to other coaches all the time. I have people come to me who are like, okay, here's my problem. And this is not my expertise. Here's the coach you need. Right? So don't be afraid to leverage that. Social media. We went through some things you can do on social media, some types of posts you can make. Put yourself out there and let people know what you do and how you can help them. Do an event. So I do master classes on my Facebook profile and in my groups pretty frequently. Probably about once a month, I will get on and actually teach something fairly in depth like this with slides. And I do that to get my ideal clients' attention, get people interacting with me so that I can find those people who are ready to enroll in whatever program or product I'm offering at the time. You could do a meetup in person if you want to, or go to a meetup. Go interact on a masterclass. Just get yourself out there. Number 10, real life. It's kind of scary. No, there's events all around you. Go look at meetups, see what's happening. Go look at events, Eventbrite or Eventseek. Look for events in your local area and just get out and network, have conversations. If you want clients, go find them. They are out there waiting for you to find them, but you got to do the work, right? You got to get out there in front of them. 2 bonuses. How many people have reached out to you in the last, let's say, year who you didn't follow up with? If your Facebook Messenger box or your email box is anything like most of ours, there's some people who've fallen through the cracks. Don't be afraid to reach back out and say, hey, you know what? I totally dropped the ball in responding to this, and pick the conversation back up. You're human. It's okay. Reach out to anybody who there's follow-up that you can do, or somebody who you previously talked to again and didn't close out the conversation with. You never did get them on a call. Reach back out, get them on a call. And then 12 is your own Facebook group. If you don't have one, start one. Use that as a place to bring in ideal clients and warm them up, build that relationship with them so that you can invite them to join you in whatever your product, service, or offer is. Okay, that's it. 12 ways. Okay, so I hope this has given you some ideas on an actual solid strategy and action plan that you can use. Base it on how many new clients do you need, and then just do the math. And figure out, okay, so how many people do I need to get this in front of? How many conversations do I actually need to have? It's not as many as you would think. And you can get new clients in this way. So 3 marketing actions a day, 5 to 10 new conversations a day, 1 to 2 actual, phone conversations, and an offer. You can do all of that in just a couple of hours a day. Right? I think it takes me about 90 minutes if I go through that entire process. I don't usually need to have 2 whole conversations a day. A lot of times just messenger back and forth is enough to get somebody in, depending on the price point that you've got your stuff at. Sometimes you need that conversation. But I know people who successfully sell 10 or 15K packages through Messenger, right? So give yourself permission to have some fun with this, to try out different things and see what works. Because as you figure out and test out these different marketing actions, doing that 3 a day, I just gave you 12. That's a whole week's worth of variety. You can do something different every day, right? Find the ones that work for you and don't be afraid to experiment. Make it a game for yourself of hitting those goals every day, 3 marketing actions, and then connecting with 5 to 10 people and bringing some of them into conversations where you make an offer. You invite them to work with you. This is how you can consistently get new clients without a big list, without any list at all. All right, that is it. If you have questions or comments, if you're watching live, you can post them in chat. I'll keep an eye on chat and respond there. If you're watching the on-demand replay version of this in the members area, there's a place to comment right below me, right below my video. You can comment there. Or you can post a comment or question in the Facebook group and tag me so that I see it, and I am happy to have that conversation with you there. Again, I hope this has been helpful. Send me your feedback. Let me know, what was your takeaway from this, and what are you going to do with this new knowledge and action plan? Go out there, find the people who need you, make an invitation for them to become clients so that you can help them solve their problems, you can help them shift things, you can help them transform, and you can keep your lights on so you can stay in business. Go out there and get some clients. I'll see you guys online.